Here's a prime example of why we don't trust attorneys. Now, I'm not going to say I don't have attorneys that I do trust, because we actually have pretty good conversations. Sometimes we don't agree with each other, which is fine. But I'm making this video as a response to what you were saying, sir, because you said it only applies to the NSBA, and I'm not according to the case, because you got to look at some logical things. But here's what some of the here's one example of what the legal experts are saying. What this means to you: as of now, the CTA is only unconstitutional as applied to members of the NSBA as of March 1st, 2024. But you mean to tell me it's constitutional for everyone else? Tell me how much sense that makes. Now, let's go look at the case. Here's the case, which, for those in my Telegram group, there's a PDF copy. Now, let's scroll down here. Here's your head notes, what we call the West Keys. Let's see. Corporations. Now, I saw one of your videos earlier where you said, corporations are creatures of the state, and that is actually true. But it says provisions of the Corporate Transparency Act requiring corporations. Does it say NSBA? No. It says corporations. Corporate entities. I misspoke. It didn't say corporation. It said corporate entities to disclose personal information of an entity's beneficial owner and the individual who filed the application to form the entity to the Treasury Financial Crimes Enforcement Network were not justified to carry out Congress's foreign affairs powers. In action brought by nonprofit corporation and corporation members against Department Treasury Secretary and Acting Director of FinCEN, alleging CTA violated the First, Fourth, and Fifth Amendments and constituted congressional overreach. Corporate formation was the province of the states. That means it falls under the 10th Amendment, the sovereign powers of the states. And the reporting requirements were not necessary and proper under the necessary and proper clause to carry out any of Congress's enumerated powers. The necessary and proper clause gives Congress authority to legislate on the vast mass of incidental powers which must be involved in the Constitution, but it does not license the exercise of any great substantive and independent powers beyond those specifically enumerated. Congress has the power to regulate those whose use the channels of interstate commerce in orders that those channels will not become the means of promoting or spreading evil, whether of a physical, moral, or economic nature. I won't say too much outside of too bad they actually don't enforce that with some of the things we know that goes on in this country, but that's a side point. The channels of commerce for purposes Congress's powers under the Commerce Clause are interstate transportation routes through which persons and goods move. And these transportation routes include highways, railroads, navigable waters, and airspace, as well as telecommunications networks and national securities markets. Okay, so they declared this to be an overreach of Congress. Okay, let's see. Let's go down to 21. This case, let's see. Let's do a search for commerce. Search. So I gotta find it. It actually tells you. I don't know. Well, we don't even have to go through the word commerce. We go down here to the main holding. Let's see. Conclusion. The Corporate Transparency Act is unconstitutional because it cannot be justified as an exercise of Congress's enumerated powers. This conclusion makes it unnecessary to decide whether the CTA violates the First, Fourth, and Fifth Amendments. If it's outside their powers for the NSBA, that means it's outside their powers for everyone. That means it can be unconstitutional for everyone, not just one group. But you should really read this case. They go over an extensive thing on the powers. Let's see. Let's see. Let's go down through Winkle's standing. Let's see. National Small Business Association. Right here. This right here is where you should start reading. The powers of the federal government are expressly enumerated in the Constitution. This is absolutely beautiful what they wrote here. Now, this is not going to be as detailed as other cases, but if you see on the right-hand side of the screen, I'm only at the middle of the page. The powers of the federal government are expressly enumerated in the Constitution. To protect individual liberties, the founders also drafted the Constitution to ensure separation and independence of the coordinate branches of the federal government, which prevents the accumulation of excessive power in any one branch. Within the green pastures of its enumerated powers, however, Congress may frolic with great latitude. So I highly recommend, again, you really should read this. Now, they go through foreign affairs as an argument for their power. Now, technically speaking, if you go back to the founding of the country, the states are foreign nations. We have a State Department, not a country department. Just throwing it out there. But Commerce Clause. This is a very powerful section, and this is where they shot them. This is where the court shot the government in the foot and said, "No, you can't do this. It's not under your power." And they also, A is under Commerce Clause. Okay, you really should read it, because putting out that it's unconstitutional for everyone else except for the NSBA is absolutely false. Because if they don't have the power for one, they don't have the power for the other. But I'm not going to rehash it. I'm just giving you an observation because I really do like the information you put out.